Hi, it's Layle Koncar with Carpe Diem. So now we've talked about what memory planning is. We're going to talk about how to get started. And there are just some simple questions that you kind of need to think about, answer, and then dig in. The first one is really, how do you want to approach it? Do you want to be recording like the big memories, the big events that are happening? Do you want to be recording the kind of smaller, mundane, everyday details? So we're going to kind of look at a couple of those differences as we look at my week in September here. Rather than kind of talking about one big thing that happened that week, I decided to talk about a bunch of little things that happened. So basically, I was adding photos and a story for each day during the week. So not really focusing on something big, but just the everyday. So you could do that. You could also decide to focus on something. Maybe you had one big event that happened in a week. So in this particular case, this was a weekend where we went out of town for the weekend. So instead of recording kind of the daily things that had happened, I just in my week spread talked about what we did that weekend. Now, when it comes to memory planning, there are really no rules. So you can switch it up as you want. Like I've done, you may have one week where you're focusing on the little tiny things that happen, recording the everyday details. And then you may have another week where it's more kind of a bigger, event that may have happened. So once you kind of decided how you want to approach that, the next one is to ask yourself when do you want to do it? And I switch this up too. Again, there are really no rules when it comes to memory planning. So typically what I will do is I will sit down and I will plan like I normally would. So here we're looking at just my October spread, and I've put in my different appointments, meetings, different times I'm going to be out of town. Then what I would do is at the end of October or November or December, depending on how good I am at keeping up, I'm going to go back in, and on that monthly spread, I'm going to add in just a couple photos. So I have a little bit of an overview of the entire month. So you can see I've done that here. I had my regular planning, and then I went back in and added smaller photos. When it comes to the week, I mix it up. I sometimes will plan as I go. So on this particular week, I started adding photos as the week went by. So I built it as I went. But in most cases, I find that I am doing my memory planning after the fact or after the week has taken place. So one thing I found that is really helpful to do or to use when I do that are sticky notes. So I just have some cute little sticky notes here from our Bloom collection. The reason that I do that, I'll show you. This particular week in September, there was a lot going on that week. I don't know about you guys, but half the time I can't remember what I had for breakfast, let alone what happened a week ago. So each day I would just get out a little sticky note and write down just a couple things that happened that day. So when I am ready to sit down and do my memory planning for this week, I have kind of, my brain is now here for me, and it tells me, oh, right, that's what happened this week. And then I can look at everything that happened and decide what I may want to memory plan about for that week. It may not be all of this. I may just choose to, document a few of the things that happened. Because it's not permanent, I'm using sticky notes. When I am ready to sit down and do my memory planning, I just pull those sticky notes off, and then I go about my planning. So we've talked about the what. We've talked about the when. Now I want to talk about kind of the different supplies that you want to have ready when you are doing your memory planning. So basics. And obviously, as with scrapbooking, you can take it as far as you want, but you really can take it as basic as you want. The first thing to do is you need to pick a planner. And as you're looking at picking a planner, if you already are using a planner, you want to decide, do I want to use my existing planner for a memory planner, or do I want to use a separate planner? So as I kind of thought about this for quite a while, I decided to use a separate planner. So I am using one of our spiral planners. This is the Good Vibes Spiral Planner, and it's already dated, and it's nice to have those dates already built in there for me. And the spiral, it keeps everything together in one spot. So I could use a spiral, or I could use a ring bound planner, and depending on size. So this is one of our personal planners. You may decide to do all of your memory planning here. If you do, it's obviously a little bit smaller than a spiral. So you could use a personal, or you could use an A5. And the A5 is just going to give you a little bit of a bigger size to kind of work with. You have bigger pages to work with. So once we've picked our planner, then we need to talk about photos. In the next segment, we're going to spend a lot of time talking about photos, and how to print them out and your different options. But the thing that you kind of want to think about is how you're currently taking photos today. Because as you're memory planning, it may be a little bit different than you're used to taking your photos. The beauty of a cell phone is the built-in camera, right? Most of us have cell phones and we have that camera with us at all times. So be thinking about the different things that you might want to take photos of. Now, if we're thinking about this whole kind of concept of memory planning as a time capsule, think about some of the things that really are representative of your life. If you spend a couple hours in carpool every day, you know what? Snap a shot of the kids in the car on the way to carpool, or snap a shot of the school as you're in the carpool line waiting to pick them up. If you are working full-time in an office, take a picture of your desk, take a picture of the building. I don't know about you guys, but for me, a lot of times my weekends are full with laundry. So if that's part of my everyday life, I should document it. I can go into the laundry room and take a picture of the big piles of my son's lacrosse clothes, and that's what I spent the weekend doing. And that's, again, where memory planning is a little bit different than scrapbooking. You may not ever scrapbook a picture of your laundry room with all the dirty laundry, but it's kind of your day-to-day what's happening, so you can go ahead and put that into your memory planner. So do you just want to take pictures of the big things, or do you want to take pictures of the small things? So your planner and your photos. Then when it comes to supplies, basically the world is your oyster, right? A lot of us have lots of scrapbook product at home. We have lots of washi, we have lots of stickers. What I've tried to do when I sit down to do my memory planning, I try to keep my supplies as basic as possible. Sometimes more isn't always better, because a lot of times we get paralyzed by having so much. So I will kind of select a small grouping of products and say, okay, this is what I'm going to use this week when I do my memory planning. So those type of supplies that you want to make sure have on hand and kind of have ready. The first one would be adhesive. Now that could either be your little tape runner, or it could be a little glue stick like this. And these glue sticks from Prima are awesome, and they're small, so they're easily portable. I have a little bag. It's a really simple, small pencil case that I put my memory planning supplies like this in, so that if I want to throw it in the car, or I travel a lot, so I can actually throw it in my bag with my memory planner. I can do my memory planning on the little tray in my airplane seat. So kind of keeping my supplies minimal also helps with that. So those two things obviously are key. Having a good pen. So I've got a couple different options here. This Sharpie fine tip is great because it is very fine. It's also obviously small, but it does not bleed through. And obviously it's going to depend on the thickness of the paper that you're using in your planner, but you want to make sure to pick a pen that's really not going to bleed through, so you don't see the shadowing when you turn the page. Another pen that's also great is the Scrapbook.com pen. This is just a black quick dry ink. And then, of course, washi and just some stickers. So a sticker tablet like this is great because happens to have 501 stickers. I can throw this sticker tablet in my bag along with my memory planner and look at all of the different options that I have in that one little tablet. So lots of different stickers there. Really, that can be it. It can be as basic as that. When it comes to a couple of other extra supplies that I might want to have on hand, roller stamps. Roller stamps are great for memory planning because they're not only small, you're working a little bit of a smaller canvas, but in that one little stamp, you have 12 different options. So that's another great, easy kind of portable thing to have with you. All right, so we've talked a lot about kind of how to get started and the different supplies that you need to have. The next segment, you guys, we're going to talk about photos. And obviously the photos are pretty much the most important part, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more from Scrapbook.com, please like, share, subscribe, and leave a message. Happy crafting!